Hey guys, David Patrick Green here, and just wanted to answer a question that I get all the time, and I think I neglect to address it because I think sometimes every problem is universal, every solution is universal, but the truth of it is there are certain differences in life, and one of the differences relates to this question, and the question is, can I start acting at 40? And I guess the add-on question that I will add to that is, yes, you can start your acting career at 40, and how would you do that? How can you do that? So the difference between starting your acting career at 40 and starting it younger is really twofold, and the differences are also the advantages of the 40-something actor. So the difference between you and a younger person starting out is that a lot of younger people will have studied acting from the time they were very small, which makes them really excellent actors, and it's evidence that they really love it, but they don't have the same kind of life experience and scenario building experience that someone might have who is from another background, somebody who may have had a regular job, whether it's blue collar work in a factory or whether it's white collar kind of stuff, in an office, or you could even be a professional. I know doctors and lawyers that have taken up acting later in life because they had just sort of had it with their careers. And so the difference is, yes, when you're starting out, you're going to be a little rougher. You're not going to be used to being free with your emotions because we are so trained to keep our emotions in check, right? We're not recommended by our parents and colleagues to just wear your heart on your sleeve all the time. But as an actor, that is something you don't necessarily want to do all the time, but you need to have access to it. So, younger actors may have that edge over older actors, but by the same token, the younger actors don't have that life experience that an older actor has. And so an older actor can read a script and probably understand a lot of situations that they have been in that a younger person that has exclusively studied acting or the arts or what have you won't necessarily understand at that point. In fact, they may never really quite get it if they stay in acting all their entire careers, because the life experience that they have, a lot of it will be real. It'll be based on real relationships and real family members, but it won't involve a lot of scenarios professionally outside of acting. So there's just going to be a difference there. And I would say, yes, the advantage is on the side of the younger actor in terms of the fact that they've studied it and love it, but there's also the advantage on the side of the older actor that hasn't studied all their lives because they have real life experiences. So that's kind of one for the younger actors and one for the older actors. Now let's talk about another difference, and this is in terms of getting involved in the business, because while lots of people have studied countless years and done countless classes, and this may describe you to some extent, they don't necessarily bring a lot to the table when it comes to doing something else, because all they know how to do is act, and that's maybe all they want to do. But if you want to get involved with people in the business, develop relationships with people in the business so that when roles and parts come along, they will turn to you. The person who's starting out older and who has life and business and work experience has an advantage because they can contribute something right away that isn't just acting. Okay, so I'm someone who's a huge advocate of internships or working in the business. You can have a paid job or an unpaid job. It really doesn't matter. Just two sides of the same coin. And if you have something to offer right off the bat, like some kind of hard skills in accounting or data entry or computer programming or a whole lot of different things. You could be a security expert, you could be a medical expert, you could be a massage therapist, you could be a wine sommelier, anyone who's got some expertise that somebody else might be interested in, this is what you would bring to the table, and that the typical younger actor who has dedicated themselves only to acting wouldn't necessarily have. And I have lots of people who write me, and I tell them, you should get involved in the business. And they say, well, what would I do? And I say, well, what have you done? And they say, I've never done anything. And I'm kind of like, wow, isn't that interesting? Because really, what my advantage was when I figured it out was I had a lot of interesting life experience. I had worked overseas. I had a master's in business. I had a comfort level, maybe dealing with people at a certain level. I had dealt with presidents and CEOs, and I had a lot of variety and diversity in my background. And I guess when it came to certain situations, I was fairly comfortable, like I could run a casting session without fear, without having to ask, do you think I should do this? Because, I had a lot of life experience. And so common sense sometimes came to bear in certain situations where someone who hadn't maybe done a lot of the things I've done, they might not have that kind of common sense that I'm referring to. But, I just really I'm not trying to knock down the younger folks here. This is really addressing people who are 40 to 50, let's say. And I'll probably do another video for people who are 50, and then I might do another one for the next couple of decades, just to try and figure out and let you guys know what the differences are. But I really just wanted to point out that if you are saying to yourself, and many of us do, and many of us say these things at a very young age, oh, it's too late, oh, I'm too old. I hear people that are in their mid-20s saying that. So, it's never too late. It's only too late when you decide it's too late. And while you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's too late, you could have actually got started. You could have accomplished something. You could have done something. You could have reached out. You could have made a phone call. There's so much that you could do. And that's really the key, is to take stock of what you have to offer and then just get out there and offer it and see what the feedback is. And then keep adjusting your offer and keep making the offer, not only to new people, but to the same people over and over again. Because once you've met someone once, they're no longer a stranger. And so if you haven't really, scared them, they're more than likely to be somewhat receptive to you if you come back with a somewhat modified offer to help them. Because think about it, if someone comes to help you, most of the time you're going to be fairly happy, even if it isn't exactly what you want. You're going to consider what they have to offer. And if you say no and they come back in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever, and they say, oh, by the way, I just thought I would check in again. I don't know if your situation's changed. My situation actually has changed. I have some new skills and I think you should see them. And I think they'd be really helpful to you based on what I know you're doing right now. So anyway, there it is, guys. If you're 40 plus and you've had another career or another life or whatever it is, don't hesitate. Jump right in. Find your way into the business one way or the other, whether it's on a voluntary basis or a paid basis, and just get involved at the highest level possible, okay? Don't mess around with amateurs, because you never know when they're going to, where they're going to end up, if and when they'll become professional. So start with people who have already proven themselves as professionals, because you don't want to spend a lot of time with somebody and then it turns out, oh, they gave up on the business, or, maybe they're ideas are cuckoo and maybe they're cuckoo, who knows? So find people who are proven professionals that have something in common with what you want to do, and reach out and start to help those people, and use those 4 decades of life and business and work experience to your advantage. And I'm sure they will be happy that you came along. Hope this was helpful. If you liked it, if you see this on YouTube, then please like it and hit the bell, and you'll get to see more videos like this. If you see it somewhere else, well, just let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions or questions for other videos or questions about this video, then let me know. I will talk to you soon.